My heart hammered against my ribs. A frantic, desperate rhythm that had nothing to do with the morning jog I had just finished. I stood on the porch, clutching my phone, staring at the sight of my completely and utterly blocked driveway. What the hell was this? 3 massive orange cones, a yellow caution tape barricade, and a small, hastily erected sign with the HOA logo set defiantly at the entrance. Just there, with no warning. A guttural sigh escaped my lips, a sound of pure disbelief. It was 7:15 a.m., and my daughter, Lily, was running a fever, her tiny body hot and clammy. I had a 7:30 a.m. appointment with Dr. Chun, a slot I'd waited 3 weeks for. And now this. Suddenly, a screeching, overly loud voice sliced through the crisp morning air. "Can I help you?" a woman asked, though her tone suggested the exact opposite. Karen. Of course. It was Karen, head of the Homeowners Association, and a woman who seemed to view neighborly harmony as a personal affront. She stood with her hands on her hips, her smile tight and condescending, her perfectly coiffed hair a monument to passive aggression. "It's for the new neighborhood monument," she announced, as if that explained everything. "We're starting construction today." My blood ran cold. The monument? Karen, you didn't give anyone notice. My daughter is sick. I need to get her to the doctor right now. Her smile didn't waver. In fact, it seemed to grow wider. "Well, I'm terribly sorry about your personal emergency, but the needs of the community come first. We sent out a memo last week. Did you not check your mailbox?" I felt a surge of rage so hot it almost blinded me. My mailbox. I'd been living on takeout and coffee for 2 weeks, juggling Lily's sickness with my own insane work schedule. A memo was not a courtesy. It was an insult, a deliberate, calculated act of malice. My hands clenched into fists, the plastic of my phone digging into my palm. My little girl was waiting inside, whimpering. "Karen," I said, my voice dangerously low, "move the cones. Now." Her laughter was a sharp, brittle sound, like glass cracking. "I'm afraid that's impossible. We have a crew coming. This is the designated staging area. Section 4B of the bylaws clearly states." She droned on, a self-satisfied drone of legalese and smug entitlement. The world seemed to blur around me, the soft chirping of the birds replaced by a high-pitched ringing in my ears. How could someone be so willfully cruel? It was then, as I watched her preen, that a different kind of calm settled over me. It was the calm that comes after a decision has been made, the quiet before the storm. I took a slow, deliberate breath, the air filling my lungs with a fresh resolve. "You're right," I said, cutting her off mid-sentence. "I did miss the memo. My bad. You know, it's been a hectic few weeks. Approving the permits for this neighborhood's construction projects has been a lot of work." The color drained from Karen's face. The smile that had been so firmly plastered there vanished entirely, replaced by a look of bewildered horror. She took a step back, her eyes wide. What did you just say?" she stammered, her voice a thin, shaky whisper. "I said," I replied, a small, tight smile now playing on my own lips, "that I've been busy approving permits. I'm a civil engineer with the city, and for the last 5 years, I've been the one signing off on every single construction project in this community, including, the giant, tacky monument you're planning to build." The silence that followed was deafening, punctuated only by the distant hum of a lawnmower. Her carefully constructed world, built on a flimsy foundation of authority and perceived power, was visibly crumbling. Her face, a mask of self-righteousness just moments ago, was now a portrait of absolute panic. She looked around, her eyes darting from the cones to the sign to the quiet houses around us, as if hoping someone else would step in and fix this for her. But no one did, and no one would. But you're a single mother," she finally managed, the accusation hanging in the air like a foul odor. "You live on this street. You're supposed to be one of us." I let out a sharp, incredulous laugh. "One of us? Karen, do you even hear yourself? You think the world stops spinning for your little kingdom. The truth is, I work for the city. I am an equal part of this community. And my sick child is a far greater priority than your stone obelisk. Now, let's get back to your monument. Did you get the structural integrity report back from my office? Or the updated traffic impact study? You know, the one that mentions that blocking a major residential driveway, even for a short time, is a huge violation of city code. Her face was a kaleidoscope of emotions, anger, confusion, and a deep-seated fear. That's not what the bylaws say. She shrieked, clutching the printed sheet in her hand like a lifeline. Section 4B. It says we can designate staging areas. And city code trumps HOA bylaws every single time. Karen, I countered, my voice calm but firm. It's called legal precedent. The permits, the entire project, are contingent on my final signature. I'm the last stop on that train. And right now, that train is stopped dead. My words seemed to land with a heavy thud, echoing the weight of the moment. Then, a new voice. She's right. Karen. We all turned to see Mr. Henderson, an older gentleman who lived 2 doors down, standing with his arms crossed. I was on the committee last year. She blocked my sprinklers for 2 weeks while they redesigned my landscaping. I had to threaten legal action just to get her to budge. The air crackled with tension. Karen's eyes narrowed, a flash of pure malice in them. This is a conspiracy. You're all against me. She screeched, her voice cracking. I've been trying to make this community better. The sound of her desperate wailing was music to my ears. Suddenly, a woman from the house across the street, who had been watching from her window, came outside. Karen, stop. You're making a scene, she said, her voice laced with disappointment. It was just a memo. You could have texted people. You're not being reasonable. The tide was turning. The fortress of Karen's authority, once so intimidating, was now being attacked from all sides. Her face was now a puffy, red mess, her eyes welling with tears of frustration, not remorse. She looked from me to Mr. Henderson, to the new woman, her entire body shaking with impotent fury. You can't do this. I have the power here. I'm the head of the HOA. She screamed, her voice a raw, ragged sound that was no longer threatening, but pitiable. Not anymore, I said softly, but the words were a hammer blow. The moment you chose to make a sick child's well-being secondary to your vanity project, you lost any moral authority you ever thought you had. Now, I have a choice. I can either report this blatant violation to the city and have your project shut down permanently, or you can get your crew to move this entire setup in the next 5 minutes. And you can apologize to me and my daughter for your inexcusable behavior. The ultimatum hung in the air. A silent, powerful demand. Karen opened her mouth, then closed it. Her shoulders slumped, the fight visibly draining out of her. She finally, begrudgingly, picked up one of the orange cones. It was a small victory, but it felt monumental. The tension broke, a collective sigh rippling through the small crowd that had gathered. As I drove away, my daughter finally settled in the back seat. The hum of the engine a soothing lullaby. I thought about power, about the abuse of it, the quiet strength of it, and the responsibility that comes with it. The HOA's monument, I knew, would one day get built, but it would be done with proper notice, with a respect for the community it was meant to serve. And Karen would be a different leader, or not a leader at all. And that, I realized, was a far more beautiful monument. What do you think? Did the ends justify the means? Or was the revenge just as bad as the original sin?